There was a moment, maybe late at night, maybe in your car, maybe in the bathroom so nobody could hear, where you broke down. And you asked God, "Are you even there?" Stay with me. Because what I'm about to tell you is not a motivational speech. It's not empty encouragement. It's something I believe with everything in me, and by the end of this video, I think you will too. You've been waiting. And it feels like silence. Let me paint a picture. You've been praying. Maybe for months. Maybe for years. You've been faithful, you've done everything right, and still, nothing seems to be moving. The job hasn't come. The healing hasn't happened. The relationship hasn't been restored. The dream still feels like a dream. And in that silence, a thought creeps in, one that terrifies you, because you'd never say it out loud. What if God forgot about me? I want to look at you, right through this screen, and say, He didn't. In fact, He never stopped working. Not for one single second. There's a man in the Bible named Joseph. And if you've heard his story, I want you to hear it again, but differently this time. At 17, Joseph had a dream. A God-given dream, a vision that his life was going to mean something extraordinary. He could feel it. He believed it. And then, everything fell apart. His brothers, consumed by jealousy, threw him into a pit. They sold him into slavery. He was taken to a foreign land, separated from everyone he loved. He served faithfully in Potiphar's house, and he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. 13 years, friend. 13 years between the dream and the fulfillment. Now, here's what the Bible does not show us. It doesn't show us Joseph crying into a stone floor in that prison cell. But do you think he didn't? Do you think there weren't nights where he felt completely, utterly forgotten? And yet, Genesis 39 verse 21 says this. But the Lord was with Joseph. While he was in prison. While the silence was loudest. While the waiting felt endless. God was not absent. God was positioning. What silence actually means. I want to reframe something for you. Because I think we've been reading silence wrong. When a surgeon is in the middle of a complex operation, they're quiet. Intensely focused. You don't hear them laughing in the hallway. You don't see them distracted. Their silence is not absence. It is total, undivided attention. God's silence over your situation is not Him looking away. It is Him leaning in. The seed doesn't hear anything while it's underground. But underground is where the root system is being built, the infrastructure that will hold up everything that comes next. You are not stuck. You are being rooted. The tears you cried in secret were not wasted. Every single one was seen. Every single one was recorded. Psalm 56 verse 8 says that God collects your tears in a bottle. He keeps count of every one. That means, the night you sobbed and thought no one knew, heaven noticed. The prayer you whispered because you were too tired to speak it aloud, it was heard. The moment you almost gave up, grace stepped in and held you together. You are not forgotten. You never were. God doesn't delay to punish you. He prepares you. Here's the thing about Joseph's story that we miss. If Joseph had been released from prison a year earlier, Pharaoh wouldn't have been in a position to need him. The timing wasn't cruelty, it was choreography. There are 3 reasons God works in hidden seasons. 1. Character before platform. The weight of the calling Joseph carried required a depth of character that only suffering can build. You cannot carry great responsibility with a fragile spirit. The waiting was forming him. 2. Protection you can't see. Sometimes God's silence is a shield. The door that didn't open was protecting you from a room you weren't ready for. The person who walked away was being removed before they could derail what God is building in you. 3. Alignment of all things. Your breakthrough isn't just about you. It's connected to other people, other stories, other timelines. God is orchestrating a symphony, and He will not release the crescendo before every instrument is in place. And then one day, one ordinary day, everything changed. For Joseph, it was a conversation. For you, it might be an email, a phone call, a moment you never saw coming. And when it happens, you'll look back at the silence and finally understand what God was doing. Joseph stood before Pharaoh, not as a slave, not as a prisoner, but as the second most powerful man in Egypt. And the very brothers who threw him into a pit stood before him, trembling. And what did Joseph say? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Genesis 50 verse 20. That is the sentence I want to become true in your story. Not just as theology, as testimony. What do you do while you wait? Maybe you're in the middle of your silent season right now. Here's what I want you to do. Keep showing up. Joseph didn't rot in prison, he served. He led. He showed integrity even in chains. The season of waiting is not a season of passivity. It is a season of faithfulness in small things. Stop interpreting the silence as rejection. Silence is not a no. In God's economy, silence is often preparation. It's the deep breath before He speaks. Talk to someone. You were not built to carry this alone. Find your community, find a pastor, find one trusted friend, and say out loud what you've been carrying in secret. The enemy thrives in isolation. Don't give him that ground. The tears you cried in secret, they were the irrigation for what's about to grow. The silence you endured, it was the canvas God was painting on. Your season of waiting is not the end of your story. It is the hinge point, the moment everything turns. God was working in the silence. He still is. Hold on. Your Joseph moment is coming. If this video spoke to something you've been carrying, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Drop a comment below and tell me, what season are you in? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.